Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, is waging a war on wokeness by lifting weights and changing names. He's in Germany. He's been in Germany visiting the U.S. base in Germany. If you remember, we do have a big base in Germany. Why do we have a base in Germany? Should we not have that base? We don't need a base in Germany, do we? So Pete Hegseth shows off these images of him working out with the warriors. He says, so there he is running in the early mornings. He's got some other. What else is he? There's several pictures. Let's scroll through them so we can look at Pete Hegseth doing his. What are these? He's like going to do squat cleans or something with these. He goes and he works out with these guys, and there's a video of him as well. Let's kind of check out this video. So there he is. You know, he's done this workout with these guys, and that's cool, right? Everybody's looking at this and they're saying, finally, a leader, you know, a real leader that's actually working out with these guys rather than just doing woke stuff. But remember, Pete Hegseth is not a general. He's not a colonel. He's not a lieutenant colonel. He's not any of these. He's not actually, the Secretary of Defense is actually a civilian role, very specifically. Yes, Pete Hegseth was once in the military, but this is a civilian role. And it is good, I think, for the military to see strong leaders and whatnot. But the Secretary of Defense, their main job is really over the budget, and also policy. They're over budget and policy. So one of the policies that Pete Hegseth, you know, notoriously has been getting rid of is kind of all the DEI and the wokeness. But he's also doing something else, and that is renaming bases. Here he is talking about Fort Bragg. It was Fort Liberty. It was changed. Now it's Bragg is back, he says. Here he is.
There it is. Pursuant to the authority of the Secretary of Defense, Title 10, United States Code, Section 113, I direct the Army to change the name of Fort Liberty, North Carolina to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. That's right, Bragg is back.
Bragg is back. Okay, so what is the history behind this? So the name Fort Bragg was changed to Fort Liberty in 2023. This was part of a broader effort to remove Confederate-linked names from U.S. military bases. And the decision came from the Naming Commission, which is a panel established by Congress in 2021 to review and recommend changes for bases named after Confederate figures. Fort Bragg was named after Braxton Bragg, who was a Confederate general known for his incompetence and losing key battles during the Civil War. He's not even really admired even amongst Confederate leaders. But, you know, nonetheless, people were pretty pissed off. The conservatives were mad that that we were changing history, that we were essentially saying, okay, we're not going to name, we're going to erase all the Confederates and all of this. So Fort Bragg was renamed Fort Liberty. That was considered a neutral, more unifying name compared to naming it after another historical figure. Many conservatives and veterans just saw this move as woke political theater, arguing that the military was wasting time on renaming bases instead of focusing on actual defense priorities. So remember, this was the issue with conservatives. They were upset saying, this is bullshit. This is just woke political theater. And really, you're wasting time naming bases instead of focusing on actual defense priorities. And that's my beef. This is just more performative theater. I mean, reinstating the name Fort Bragg might make headlines, but let's be real. This isn't the job Americans actually want done. The growing number of Americans who want fewer wars and a smaller military budget aren't asking for base renaming ceremonies and viral workout videos. They want a serious leader who's actually addressing the real issues in the U.S. on defense policy, not playing culture war cosplay while the Pentagon burns through nearly $1 trillion a year with little oversight. Americans want less war, not more PR stunts. Poll after poll shows that Americans are tired of endless military interventions. After 2 decades of costly wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, wars that cost trillions of dollars and thousands of lives, there is a clear shift in public opinion. A majority of Americans now oppose U.S. involvement in foreign conflicts that don't directly affect national security. So support for reducing military spending is growing, even amongst conservatives who are tired of seeing taxpayer dollars wasted on failing strategies. Veterans themselves are speaking out against reckless wars, seeing firsthand the cost of poor leadership. And yet, what's the big priority at the Pentagon under Hegseth? Symbolic base renamings. which is a lot like what the liberals were doing. Gym sessions. Okay, that's a little different. So instead of, having DEI sessions and championing the fact that we're all woke now and inclusive, we're instead broing down with the gym, with the guys at the gym and talking tough on culture war issues. This is just a swap. That's all this is. Where's the accountability for bloated budgets, failed interventions, and a military industrial complex that drains the economy? So let's talk money. Because while Hegseth is busy flexing on Instagram, the Pentagon budget is approaching $900 billion a year. The US spends more on defense than the next 10 countries combined, yet can't win wars decisively or even defend its own southern border. And the DoD can't even pass an audit with trillions in unaccounted spending. So defense contractors rake in billions in no-bid contracts while average Americans struggle with inflation and economic instability. So tell me, does renaming Fort Bragg help fix military waste, cut unnecessary wars, or hold defense contractors accountable? No? Then why is this the focus? If Hegseth really wanted to be the America First, pro-military leader he claims to be, here's what he'd focus on instead of nameplate politics: ending pointless foreign interventions. Stop bleeding taxpayer money on conflicts that don't serve U.S. interests. Reduce the Pentagon's budget bloat. Cut unnecessary programs and demand fiscal responsibility. Prioritize actual defense. Focus on defending America's borders, not fighting proxy wars overseas. Maybe even talk about shutting down that base in Germany. Why is it even there? Stand up to the military-industrial complex. Break the endless cycle of wars for profit that benefit defense contractors, not soldiers. Americans are waking up. We're tired of performative leadership that focuses on symbolic victories over real reform. And Hegseth's theatrics might play well on TV, which is where he's used to being. But if he wants to be the Secretary of Defense Americans actually want, he needs to stop chasing headlines and start fixing the real problems in U.S. defense policy. Otherwise, he's just another actor in the Pentagon's longest running show, How to Waste Billions While Accomplishing Nothing. Thanks for watching this clip from the full Kim Iversen Show. If you want to watch the full show, just visit KimIversonShow.com. The show airs every Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, it's KimIversonShow.com. See you there.